Today I'll be reading some of your hot takes which you gave in this community post's comment section that I made like a long while ago. But I'm finally talking about your hot takes. Let's begin now. Skylanders was never going to last long. Either by corporate greed or creative burnout, the series had a time limit. The fact that it got over 5 years is amazing. This is not a hot take. I'm putting this as like some people say that it may have lasted longer if they didn't make the games every year, so I'm not going to put it as a 1, but I'm going to put it as a 2 on this rating. This is a 2, so it's barely even a hot take. Spyro looks better in Skylanders than his actual game, and more people know Spyro from Skylanders than his original game series. I wouldn't really say that. I personally like how Reignited Spyro looks more than Skylanders Spyro, but they're practically completely different designs, so it's more of a subjective thing, and I think, the amount of people that know Spyro from Skylanders to the amount of people that know Spyro from the original Spyro games is around, 50-50, so I'm just gonna rate this as a 5, to be honest. Blastermind is underrated and powerful in the right hands. Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna put this as a 4. SWAT Force is objectively the best game in the franchise. The characters were great, the style was a fresh new look after SSA and Giants looked basically the same, and it gave players the ability to finally jump. It is not objectively the best game in the series. Yeah, it's got the most side content, and I personally love it a lot, but I wouldn't really say there's anything amazing to say that it's the objective best game. If any game, no Skylanders game is really the objective best, to be honest, but SWAT Force, I like SWAT Force, and I understand why people love it. It's my 4th favourite Skylanders game overall, so I like it a lot. I'm just gonna put this in I'm gonna put this as a 5. Shortcut is the best trap master. Sure, why not? 2. Nah, 3. They never needed to add jumping. The games were fine without them. I agree. 3. Not sure if this is a hot take, but since most people parrot what major community members say, I presume it is. The chances of getting a new game at all is astronomically small, let alone getting a follow-up like Crash 4, so wasting it on a remake is dumb. I don't want another trek through SSA or Giants without figures or in HD, instead of getting a new content even if it's mid or shit. Yeah, I don't want Skylanders to come back at all, and it probably won't. So, this isn't really a hot take, but there is a chance of it coming back, but I don't really want it to come back, so I'm putting this as a 2. Superchargers is actually a good game. The team just needed a little more time to perfect it. Yeah, of course it's a good game. It's my 2nd favourite Skylanders game. This is a fucking 3, baby, because people somehow hate Superchargers, so I'm putting it in 3. Dear Lord, Text Head! Why do you do this all the damn time? Okay, I'm gonna do this in 1 take. I'm gonna stumble on my words, but I'm gonna do it anyways. Spyro's design in Skylanders outclasses his other designs. His Series 1 art sucks, yeah. His Spyro is a character designed to be drawn and not to be modelled, so the original design around him doesn't translate well at all, which is almost completely remedied in Skylanders. If people decided to stop comparing some of the worst Skylanders pictures of Spyro to some of the best non-Skylanders pictures of Spyro, this fact would be more obvious. His art looks good in Reignited, yeah, but that's because they did the art with the basis of the model. In SSA, the art of the characters would be done without a render done beneath, which is why almost all the characters look a slight bit disproportionate, and Spyro got hit hard. In Giants, they decided to change it so there was an underlying posed model to be drawn off of. And then in Trap Team, they decided to fully render out the character as a basis for the art. Not all, though, as evident by, like, Flip Wreck and Jawbreaker. And then for the villains, they decided to only do minor touch-ups as these renders to pump more of them out quicker. His render models are comprised of extremely flimsily put together primitive shapes, especially for the era of the original games. Yes, his Series 1 figure is pretty ugly, even Paul Ritchie III was aware of it. The figure had to be manufactured around 10 to 12 months before release, so basically 10 months before they could properly finalise how it should look, to appease to investors with starter packs. I think it shows how delusional die-hard Spyro fans must be, as his Legend of Spyro model is pretty ugly too, so is his renders for Shadow Legacy. His appearance in Crash Team Rumble's marketing campaign, and his appearances on the news broadcasts for Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. If we go off of game models from the beginning of The Legend of Spyro and compare, at least for me personally, what designs from Skylanders and Spyro are bad for the dragon, then I'll give a percentage. Skylanders, SSA model, hit. SSA figure, miss. 3DS model, pretty sure this is the same as Wii, but whatever, hit. Giants model, hit. Giants HD/XPEC model, miss, mostly due to the rendering, especially of the normal maps. Giants figure, hit. Swap Force model, hit. Swap Force Mega Ram model, hit, at least for me. Swap Force Wii model, miss. Swap Force Wii Mega Ram model, miss. Swap Force figure, hit. Trap Team HD model, hit. Yeah, this is different from Swap Force. Spry, hit. Wii Spry, hit. Racing model, miss. Imaginators, miss. Academy, yes, I know this isn't a game model. Overall, a hit, but the model philosophy and rendering of that show as a whole is very bad. Spyro, The Legend of Spyro, miss. Reignited, mostly a hit, but he's very camera dependent. Look at Canadian Guy A's thumbnails and you'll see how bad he can really look, like the Artisan Arena gameplay thumbnail, or those aforementioned official crossover videos in Crash Team Racing, Nitro Fueled and Rumble. Crash on the Run, miss. Genuinely, why is he a bull? Skylanders, 66% good. Spyro, 25 to 33% good. Note that was just taking into account game models. Additionally, the colour of Spyro's wings and wing membranes don't seem to make any sense. If he has purple scales and orange-yellow horns, why are the wings his colour of his horns and not the presumed colour of his skin? Also, I'm Welsh, and my flag has a dragon on it, so my opinion is objectively and 100% fact, of course. Please note that I don't actually care about Spyro in the slightest, or dragons that much, but the debate on hating Skylanders because Spyro looks a bit weird in its Series 1 art is hilariously pathetic, especially when Spyro looks like a decontortized lizard made of Play-Doh in Crash Team Rumble Season 3 promo art. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Okay, I'm gonna actually look up what the hell is Crash Team Rumble Season 3 promo art looks like. I'm just looking this up because I spend like 5 minutes of the video just reading text head. Yeah, it looks a bit weird. I wouldn't really say it looks bad, but it looks a bit weird. Oh yeah, overall, I'd rate this take, because TextHead was sort of doing more objectives, I would say that this is a 4, but the fact that he calls the original Spyro models a miss, which I actually kind of like the Crash on the Run model, so I'd say that this is a 6. Free takes. The game's being developed by two different teams takes away some of the identity of the series. I would have rather had to wait longer for more games. You almost get whiplash with how different the games feel to play game by game. The games should have been focused more on combat than platforming and puzzle solving. Light and Dark should have never been added. They feel like an afterthought in Trap Team, and Superchargers didn't change that. Okay, I know that some Skylanders fans would heavily agree with this one, but like, I personally like how different all the Skylanders games are, because I wouldn't really want every single Skylanders game to play the exact same. For example, SSA and Giants, they're similar. I really like how they play. Would I want Swap Force, Trap Team, Superchargers, and Imaginators to play the exact same? No. I want all the games to be different. And I like Vicarious Vision's art style and their approach to designing levels. Especially in Superchargers. Like, they cooked in that game. And I love Superchargers for the vehicle gameplay and the variety of it. And the game's being focused more on combat than platforming and puzzle solving. Yeah, the platforming kind of felt a bit like shoved in at places, especially in like the later 4 games. But puzzle solving has been there since like SSA. I don't want every single game to just be focused on combat rather than like any other aspect, because I don't want the games to just be rooms of enemies followed by more rooms of enemies. Oh yeah, Light and Dark, yeah, they kind of just feel like they added them to the game just to add 4 more figures that you need to collect in Trap Team, because Trap Team's completion requirements are absolutely ridiculous. I don't know why they decided it, but this is kind of a hot take. I'm gonna put this in 5, to be honest. Unsure how hot a take is, but Skylanders excluding chase variants costing more than 40 USD is both stupid and unfair to genuine fans and collectors. This is the coldest take I've seen. This is a 1. Rubble Rouser is a top 5 swapper. The top half hard carries, but even still, I agree. This is a 3. I need to rhyme another word with 3. P. Sprocket is actually really good. One of my favourite Giants cores. This is slowly not becoming a hot take anymore, but I'm just going to put it in 4 anyways. Basically any favourite Skylanders takes are just like on the actual Skylanders. None of them are really hot takes anymore. I've seen some ridiculous opinions, and I've just been desensitized to them. So I actually like Sprocket. So this is a 4. Hugo is racist towards Gilman and Malkin in SSA. At least that was the vibe I was getting. Rarely, if ever, referring to Gilman by name and just calling him a fish. Constantly reminding us of the Malkin blindness in conversation, with said Malkin being right there. Yeah, Hugo is a bit racist. Watch Mintiac's video on it. I don't know why Hugo's so racist. I don't even know I don't even know what to place this on the ranking, because this isn't even really a take. Like, I'm just gonna put it in 5 just to be safe, I guess. Trap Team was the last game to actually try something cool with its gameplay. From Superchargers, it went downwards. What the hell? Cartoon, no! What do you mean? Superchargers... It's the most, like from a gameplay standpoint, from a gameplay perspective, it's like the most different thing from the previous 4. Like they threw in the vehicle segments, which in my opinion have a lot of cool variety. I look forward to them. So I wouldn't say that Trap Team was the last game to try something cool with its gameplay. Yes, Imaginators is just Superchargers DLC without the cars, but like, Trap Team didn't really do anything different from the previous games besides the trapping villains. So I'd say that this is like, I don't know, Like, yeah, some people genuinely believe this, so I'm just gonna put this as a 5. In my opinion, it would probably be a 6, but this is a 5, to be honest. Bushwhack is one of the best Skylanders. First, he has insane damage on his combo path. His nut spin combo is legit insane with the DPS that can kill mystery box enemies in one combo, and it honestly baffles me that no one talks about it. Next, he has good speed on both of his paths. For his combo path, you can perform his axe dash to get a roll dash thing, and on his bottom path, you can simply perform his dash and jump cancel before he smashes on the ground. Speaking of, his bottom path, he gets insane armor as well as a leafy hut that heals him constantly and keeps him protected. In most cases, he can gain more HP than he loses, or at the very least loses and gains the same amount of XP. This lets you pause and think about how to handle a battle if you're in a sticky situation. Next, you have a basic nut throw, and it's great at killing small to medium enemies at far distances. It can even slow down some bigger enemies in some cases. Personally, he is my second favourite Trapmaster with gear shift at 1. In conclusion, Bushwhack is a great and powerful Skylander with awesome combos, damage, speed and defense. I also think his design is the best out of the more humanoid Skylanders, and his legendary variant is freaking awesome. I love them golden grippers. Another hot take is that battle mode was mid, and Doom challenges plus racing is way better. Okay, it's another Skylanders related take, so I'm gonna put that take in 3. But battle mode being mid? Are you kidding me? Doom challenges is better? Doom challenges! The ones that take longer than like 4 SWAT Force levels. Are you telling me that Doom challenge is better than battle mode? No. Okay, that take is going in 4. The returning villains in Imaginators to me seemed like they had ran out of ideas for a cool Skylanders, and they shouldn't have been included. I like the villain Skylanders. Like, I like the fact that they brought back villains. What I didn't like is that every single one was from Trap Team! Why couldn't we get Count Moneybone or something? Why did we get Taekwon Crow instead of, instead of Chef Pepperjack? Why were they all Trap Team villains? I hope that if they ever bring back Skylanders, which I hope they don't, that if they do make a villain roster, it's not just Trap Team villains. That's the only part that I dislike, that it's all Trap Team villains, but I like the roster, so I'm putting this in 4th. Skylanders Imaginators, the villains were better than the actual Sensei Skylanders. I mean, I'm kind of 50-50 on this. Like, I like some of the villains more, I like some of the Senseis more, the normal Senseis more, so I'm just going to put this as a 4. Actually, 3. Hot take. Imaginators is my favourite of the 6, and SSA is my least favourite of the 6. I then asked him, where are the other games on your list? And, basically the games just got better and better and better for this guy. But Imaginators in number 1 is crazy, but at least Supercharged is in 2, so I'm putting this in, as a 7. Yeah, 7. Skylanders! Stealth Elf Scarecrow path is the better one. Yeah, it's more fun. Like, yeah, the Blade path is objectively, DPS wise better, but, the Scarecrow path is more fun. So I'm gonna say this is a 3. Cores are better than gimmick Skylanders. Sure, why not? 3. Gorilla Driller is the best DPS in Skylanders SWAT Force. I think. I'm pretty sure Rattle Rouse is better, but, sure, let me just put this in 4th, because I think there's some better ones. Double Trouble is fun to play as. His laser attack really hits off and is enjoyable to use. This is a 2. I like Double Trouble too. This is probably going to get me a lot of hate, but I don't get why Darklight Crypt is so popular when we're talking about the first adventure packs. Maybe it's because I don't enjoy these world-changing levels a lot in general though. it is objectively better than Pirate Seas and Empire of Ice, no question, but I feel like because of that, Dark Light Crypt is regarded so highly. In other words, I think this chapter is a bit overrated. Yeah, I don't really think any of the SSA adventure packs are really, like, that good. Like, yeah, they're good levels. Like, I would much rather play them over any level in Imaginators or the levels I dislike in Trap Team, but, like, Dark Light Crypt's, like, it's like a 7 out of 10 at best. So, I kind of agree with this. I'm putting this as a 4. SWAT Force making it so elemental gates don't give hats in the gift boxes at the end of them is really dumb. It's kind of stupid. I know, but it really annoyed me. It's such a weird take. I don't even know where to place this. Like, why are you so bothered by it? I don't get it. I'm putting this as a 5 because, like, it's not that hard of a take, but I don't really know where to place it. A new move, attack, / upgrade is better than a stat boost. I see everyone always say that Polar is the best whirlwind because she has a slight stat boost for being a variant. Nah. Getting the Series 3 WoW power, which turns her tertiary into an attack, is so useful. Not only does she have 3 attacks because of it, a heavier, close range attack is the one thing she was missing from her arsenal before, and it rounds it out nicely. And this applies to any Skylander that has both a repose and a variant, even if the WoW power isn't great. I don't care how optimal a stat boost is, a whole new move is way cooler than just an alterable variable being slightly higher than usual, which you probably won't even notice. I'm pretty sure this is, like, the majority of the community is going to agree with you. The only people who are going to disagree with you are, like, the really fucking annoying, like, small group within the Ultra Nightmare community, which is so hyper-fixated on, like, stat boosts, that if you're like, oh, I personally think that this Skylander is the best Skylander in my opinion, and they're just like, no, you're objectively wrong! Whirlwind is the best Skylander in Giants, and if you think otherwise, you are wrong. Yeah, I don't agree with those people, so I'm just gonna say, this is a 2. Spyro honestly wasn't that good of a series. I'm glad I got to grow up with Skylanders instead. Spyro 1's peak. What are you talking about? I'm putting this as 6. Spyro's a pretty good series for the first 3 games. Actually, now that I think about it, the rest of the games are kind of mid, so I'm putting this as 5. But I like Spyro. The Superchargers story loses points because I didn't originally know the explanation for the beginning was in a comic book. The comic was a 4 out of 10! Yeah, I guess it loses points for the comic not being, like, included with the game, but, like, Rift into Overdrive was awesome! What the hell are you talking about? This is a 5. This is a 5. It would have been like a 3 or a 4 if you didn't mention the comic being a 4 out of 10. Skylanders Dungeon Heroes looks really good for a fan game. What the fuck is Skylanders Dungeon Heroes? I literally looked it up, and I can't find anything on this game. What the hell is Skylanders Dungeon Heroes? Okay, I'm putting this in 5. I don't know what the hell this is, and it's probably just worst Time Troop. Ninjini is the best Giants, and Giants would be the best game if it had better post-game content. Giants is already the best game, what are you talking about? This is a 3. SWAT Force is the most underrated game currently. I think jumping makes it so that combat takes more skill. The levels aren't long, the levels are also quite different from each other, and the progression is well paced, and the story is decent. Except, yes, I do agree, Rufus is the worst NPC in the game. We all hate Rufus. I wouldn't really say the most underrated game. Personally, I think SSA is currently the most underrated game. And SWAT Force, I remember when SWAT Force was the community favourite. Why did it fall off so hard? Like, it used to be my favourite game, but, like, I played the other games and I realised that I like Superchargers, SSA, and Giants more than it. I still love it a lot, but, like, Why do so many people hate Swap Force now? Like, why is Trap Team the community favorite? Why? Why is Trap Team the community favorite? Come on. Skylanders Superchargers Racing is better than most Mario Kart games. Everything but DS, Wii, and 8. It's like a lot of fun. Beanox sure knows how to make a high quality racing game. Yeah, they made Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, probably my favourite game of all time. Skylanders might be my favourite series, but Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled is so peak. It also looks and runs really good for a 3DS game. It's a shame that it was stuck on Wii and the 3DS. They could have easily released it on every other console as a $20 digital only game. Yeah, I agree. Superchargers Racing is so good. I love it. It's my 8th favourite Skylanders game, like slightly below Trap Team. Is it better than most Mario Kart games? For most people, they probably have a bunch of nostalgia for like 64 and 7, so I'm just going to say this is a 4. America sucks for buying Skylanders. Seeing that an Echo cost $80 and here in Europe $25 approximately, and others like Thrillipede in the US make me see why. Yeah. America, like I've seen American prices, I feel horrible because because the senseis in like the UK, they don't cost that much. In America, they cost like twice as much. Why? Like, I feel horrible for anyone collecting in America. The expensive characters are good. People only think their gameplay sucks because they can't afford them. I would say that none of the expensive Skylanders are bad, but mostly just because there's no bad Skylanders in my opinion. I don't know whether or not you think they're like exceptional, but the people who think they're exceptional, like I've played as Robo through file swapping, so I don't have that buyer's remorse. He's overrated. People think he's amazing. He's not that good. He's good. He's like a B tier, but like some people overrate them so high because of buyer's remorse. Same thing for like Lost Imaginate Minds. It is not third best level in the series like apparently some other people think it is. Overall, Imaginators is a great game and gets way too overhated. Also, bosses in Imaginators may not really be creative, but they were really fun. Swarm sucks, by the way. Okay, every single one of this, besides like, okay, overall, Imaginators is a great game. I agree. All of the Skylanders games are great games. It gets way too overhated. I think that Imaginators is way too overhated. It is not underrated, but it is overhated. It is not a bad game. The bosses being fun, I wouldn't really say that. They are the worst bosses in this series by far, in my opinion. Like, the actual, besides the quick shot and fake crash, I do not like the bosses in this game. They're so basic. And also, I love Swarm. He's the fast giant. He has like 7 moves. What the hell? I love Swarm. Overall, this is getting a 7. Swap Force is the best game with the best Chaos Battle, but I think it has the worst roster. Okay, I could like understand why you think that Swap Force is the best game, but best Chaos Battle? Really? Really? When Robo Chaos exists? Like, it just feels like a DeviantArt boss fight, and all he does is summon enemies. Like, the SSA one's better than the only one that I'd really say that is worse than Super Evil Chaos is Super Chaos, just by the fact that he only has 1 move. But like, I wouldn't really say it's the best boss battle. Also, the worst roster. I love Giants and Superchargers, but I can admit they have the worst rosters out of any of the Skylanders games. Like, new roster wise, total roster wise, Superchargers is the best game. Total roster wise, Giants, by the dungeon crawling games, has a better roster than SSA just by the fact that it has SSA's roster. So I'm putting this as a 4. I don't know if this is a hot take, because because it is the truth, but everyone is saying to me that I'm wrong, and I know that by saying that here, that the hot take I will say is not mine, but theirs. Superchargers is the best game of the franchise. It is second best in my opinion, but close enough. The game's peak Chargers, and everyone from the French community thinks that I am crazy for that. Is the hot take mine or theirs? Well, a lot of the community seems to not like Superchargers, and I'm glad that Superchargers is slowly becoming like more of like a 50-50 if you love it or hate it. So I'm gonna say 5, because some people hate Superchargers for some reason, so 5. Also, milder hot take, Wii U's the best console. No. That's I'm not gonna rank that, but like Wii U's, I love the Wii U, but best console, nah. Wrecking Ball is a good Skylander. There are no bad Skylanders, so this is a 2. Graphics wise, Trap Team Wii isn't bad. I say this, especially with people like Boombringer saying it is. Now, I play a lot of PS2 and Wii games, but you have to look at it as if it has the graphics of the older games. I do not share this opinion with any other Wii Skylanders after Giants nor 3DS games because I haven't played them. Yeah, Trap Team Wii, it doesn't look that bad. Like, it's a perfectly acceptable downgrade port. Yeah, it doesn't look graphically as good, but like the fact that they use the SSA and Giants models for the SSA and Giants Skylanders mostly is like, I like that. Like the animations were made for those models, so there isn't clipping in this version, and the actual game doesn't really look that bad. So I'd say that this is a 3. Superchargers is the home of the worst song in the franchise. Cluck combat music. Yeah, it does sound like fart music, but like, come on, but like it fits the tone of the level. Unlike every single stock song that they use in Trap Team and Imaginators. So this is a 4. Imaginators is one of the better Skylanders games, mainly because of replayability. I'm not saying it's the best because Swap Force exists. As for those who say, you can't play with old Skylanders because they're too weak, ever heard of difficulty settings? That is a band-aid solution to the problem. You can't just say, oh, the game's unbalanced, just make it easier, because enemies are still damage sponges, and you just take away, like, any fair difficulties so that you're just slowly breezing through the game instead. Like, it feels like enemy health bars are like if they were on hard mode in any other game, but they damage you as much as easy mode. So it just feels really bland and just boring. Also, like, Imaginators is not one of the better Skylanders games, it's one of the worst ones. In my opinion, it's the second worst Skylanders game. I still like it, but Ring of Heroes is the only thing below it, and I hate Ring of Heroes. Fuck Ring of Heroes. So this is a 6. Actually, because of that last statement, that's a 7. The original 2 games look pretty ugly, and I'm tired of pretending they're not. Not sure how much of a hot take that is, but I've seen a lot of people praise the art style. Okay, bro, they do not look ugly. If you think they look ugly, you have not played Trap Team, because Trap Team Flynn looks horrible, and for some reason they made Chaos look like one of those wrinkly old cats. I don't know why he's so wrinkly and angry in the game. Also, like, Swap Force gave models to SSA and Giant Skylanders, and they don't really look that good. Like, I like the art style of the first 2 games, so but like, I hear some people say that, oh, they don't have pretty graphics. So I'm gonna say that this is a 5. Also, yeah, the minis are cool. Swap Force is by far the most boring Skylanders game in terms of levels, because not only are they really long, but they repeat themes as well. The post-game content also sucks. It is not fun to 100%, and the only good parts of the games are maybe the art style and definitely the roster and the gimmick. Overall, SWAT Force is down there as one of the worst games in the series. Hell no! Bro! What do you mean the only good parts of the game are the art style and the roster? There's so much extra content. There's so much extra content. It is not fun to 100%. All of that extra content is completely optional, unlike another game that begins with the letter T, which you need to complete all of the side content to 100% the game. Besides, like, oh, you don't need to evolve Chaos or Hoodsicle, but like, you need to do all of the side content, which in all the previous games was completely optional in Trap Team. So it is fun to 100%, well, besides having to no-hit the bosses. But, like, I'd say Trap Team's way worse to 100%. Especially, don't even mention Imaginators, where you have to grind Imaginite parts. And, like, the bonus missions and arenas are the best in the series. It's not the worst, one of the worst games by far. I swear, Cloudbreaker's takes have ruined the community. SWAT Force is not bad. Imaginator's soundtrack is unoriginal, but still good. 9. This is a 9. This is, like, the only thing that's not making this a 10 is saying that if it was underrated, or, like, saying that it's the best in the series. But this is a 9. 9. Skylanders Battle Mode sucks and is the biggest dog shit ever. In the first one, it's alright because the gimmick Skylanders aren't there, but it still has its flaws. They should have focused more on an online mode, because you need a second controller in order to play Battle Mode. Or hell, even an online Battle Mode if they can't do that. Hell, I'm not sure if I'm right, but if I remember correctly, this is for PS3 only, by the way. But on the cover of the games, except for Trap Team and Imaginators for some reason, it said PlayStation Network or something on the top right corner where the PS3 header was, or whatever you call it. Kind of off topic, but just to mention it regardless. Battle Mode, I like Battle Mode. I'm just going to say it. So this is, and a lot of other people like Battle Mode, so I'm putting this in 5. Trap Team has the worst soundtrack out of all 6 games. I'm not saying that because half of it is licensed music, I'm saying that because what the actual score and both composed is way too calm and not as bombastic and epic as the other games. It's second worst, but you were close. So I'm saying, this is a 3. Trap Team is the second worst Skylanders game. It's the biggest piece of true, but half of the community will crucify me for saying that, so I'm putting that as a 4. Lego Dimension did it better. No. That's a 6. SWAT Force ruined the graphics and art style because Vicarious Visions made the graphics better. People expected all the future games to have better graphics instead of the original graphics and art style. Personally, I don't really mind SWAT Force's art style. I prefer SSA and Giants' art style to any of the other art styles, but I like the SWAT Force art style. What I don't like is that the double standard between people saying that SWAT Force's art style is bad and then completely ignoring Trap Team's art style doing the exact same thing, arguably worse. So yeah, Triple Trouble, that's like a, I'd say that's a 4. The crunchy graphics from Giants and SSA were better because it kind of sold that it's another world more by looking so much different than ours. Yeah, I agree. This is because some people, I'm not gonna give names, but your name begins in a C, they want Giants and SSA to look like Trap Team. That would ruin the game! So I'm just gonna say that this is a 3, because it would personally be a 2, but like other people think that SSA and Giants looks horrible, so I'm putting this as a 2.